Welcome to video 2 for the minor pentatonic scale. This scale is probably the most used scale on the guitar to create meaningful riffs and melody. Some of the greatest riffs of all time from the greatest guitar players use this scale to create meaningful riffs. First, you have to be able to play it in a smooth way from the beginning to the end and back. Right now, it's still just about doing the scale over and over and over, up and down and up and down and up and down. So today we're talking about how to use it, where to use it, how to put it in keys. Where you put the scale matters because that puts you in a certain key. So the first thing to know is we got to know where our notes are. You should have memorized by now G note, A note, and B note. So I'm going to dive right into an important concept about the minor pentatonic scale. And that important concept is that for every minor chord, you will have a relative major chord that it's partnered with. Think about the key of G for a second. Think about the chords you've played in the key of G. You've probably played a G, a fancy C, a D, and what minor chord have you played with it? E minor. E minor has a perfect, wonderful relationship with the G major chord. I think of the G major chord and the E minor chord as twins. The G major chord is like the happy-go-lucky, bright, happy twin. And the E minor is like the goth, he always wears black twin. But they both come from the same place. If you put different clothes on them or something, you're hardly going to be able to even tell the difference between the two. So in order to know how to use that minor pentatonic scale for a major key, you have to know the relationship of what we call the 6 minor with the 1 major chord. Again, the example here is in the key of G, his favorite minor is E minor. So this is the point. When you're in the key of G, you can use the E minor pentatonic scale, and the notes from that scale perfectly go into the G major key. Perfectly. They share the same notes. So how do we play an E minor pentatonic scale? Well, we could say that that minor pentatonic scale that we did in the first video on the A note was birthed from the open position. Notice that we have a bar here. We had a bar with our pointing finger on the A. If we take that all the way down here, where we don't even need to fret it anymore in this open strings, now I'm going open string, 3rd fret, just like I'm doing my minor pentatonic scale. But I don't need to hold that note anymore because this does it for me. So open fret, I'm in the E minor pentatonic scale right now. In fact, listen to this E minor. I'm in E minor right now. You hear it. So how do you play it? Well, real quickly, if you haven't played it, you're going to go up. From 0, you're going to go up to the 3rd fret, 0 fret A string, 2nd fret, 0 fret D string, don't need hands, 2nd fret, open G, 2nd fret, open B, 3rd fret, open E, 3rd fret, 0 3, 0 2, 0 2, 0 2, 0 3, 0 3. If you look at that, and by now your mind's eye should see the minor pentatonic scale there, you'll see how that scale perfectly overlaps not only an E minor chord, but also a G major chord. Look, we went 0, 3, 0, 2. My pointing finger's there naturally in a G chord. 0, right? That open D is in a G chord. G is in a G chord. Open B. Where did I go? I went to the 3rd fret. That's where my note lands in a G chord. Open E, 3rd fret. So, now listen how the E minor chord, E minor pentatonic scale goes with this G major chord. So it can be used for E minor or G major. This is a huge and an important concept. Let's fly this sucker back up to the 5th fret where we kind of learned it from in video 1. Here's a little trick or rule you can use to find where to play your minor pentatonic scale when you need to use it in a major key. Let's say you're in the key of C. Okay? What chords go with the key of C? C, F, G, and A minor. A minor. So you find the C note on the top string. We have G, A, B. After B is C. B doesn't have a sharp. After B is C. G, A, B, C. And what you do is, all right, there's my major note. I'm in the key of C right now. What you do is you go back 3 frets and you'll find your, you could say, 6th minor note, or the place in which you should start your minor pentatonic scale. This is a lot. This is a lot, I know. Music theory is confusing, but I'm trying to explain these things in practical ways. Go to your major note and go back 3 frets. And now when you hear that C major chord, that A minor pentatonic scale goes with that C major chord. You hear it? I'm playing A minor pentatonic scale with that C major chord. So, we've talked about the key of G. The key of G uses E minor pentatonic scale because E minor is G's favorite minor. Talked about the key of C. Now there's 5 keys that if you'll get good at these 5 keys, not only the main chords of each key and maybe the fancy versions of those chords, but also how to find the scales for those keys, you'll be in great shape. Those 5 keys are the key of A, the key of C, the key of D, the key of E, and the key of G. So let's go over those 5 keys and how to find the minor pentatonic scale that can get you up into those major keys. We talked about C. Let's talk about the key of A. So now we're thinking about the key of A. The main chords that go with the key of A are A, D, E, and F sharp minor. Now if you know the minor chord to the major key, the 6th minor chord to the major key, you can just go to that minor pentatonic note, the minor note, and play the scale there. Let's apply our 3 back rule that we talked about when we were in the key of C. Here's an A note on the 5th fret. We have that memorized. Go back 3 notes, and that gets you to your 6th minor note. When we're in the key of A, we play the F sharp minor pentatonic scale to get us into that key. Notice that note that I reach out for is an A note. There's an A chord in the background. You can hear how this F sharp minor pentatonic scale goes with the key of A. Alright, let's move on to the key of D. We gotta know where a D note is. Let's find a D note. 1. Find a D note. G, A, B. After B is C. Up a full step from C gets you to D. Another way you could do it is subtract from here. You should know that open E and the double dots is an octave. So this is an E. A step back from E or a step down from E is going to get you to D. Alright? So, alright, now we found our D note. So we're in our key, our root note key. How do we find the minor pentatonic scale that will go into that major key? Go back 3 frets, and you'll find your 6th minor note that goes with that major key. It's B minor. That's a B note. When I start my B minor pentatonic scale on that B note, minor pentatonic scale goes with that D major chord, or the key of D. All right, so we've done the key of A, we've done the key of G, we've done the key of C, and the key of D. We went in a random order, but we'll circle back around. The fifth key that we haven't done is the key of E. Now, a lot of people overlook the key of E, especially in the first couple of years of playing. But I want to encourage you to get into the key of E, because the key of E can be a super bountiful key. I don't know what the word would be for that. It's it can be a very colorful key on the guitar. The guitar, in a way, is designed around not just the key of G, which you're so familiar with, but also other keys like the key of E. Now I'm preaching for the key of E just for a second. All right. So we want to be in the key of E, but we want to play that minor pentatonic scale with it. So how do we get there? Well, we need to find an E note on the top string. We've got the open E, but we also have the octave E on the double dots 12th fret. All right, now we found our root note. Now take it back 3 frets. That gets us to E's 6 minor, which is C sharp minor. John Mayer's Slow Dancing in a Burning Room song uses this position. In fact, there's a lot of singing that his guitar does, and it's designed around the basic parameters of the C sharp minor pentatonic scale. Fancy name, but just go with me here. So here's an E chord. Kind of out of tune because I've been ripping. And here's the C sharp minor pentatonic scale, which is 3 frets down from the E. I'm just making it up, right? C sharp. C sharp minor pentatonic scale gets you into the key of E. Now, I'm going to use this moment here to add a new concept. Now, you got to rewind this sucker, start it over, play it multiple times, come back to it in a month, maybe watch it once a month till everything makes crystal clear sense. But I'm going to add a new concept here. The minor pentatonic scale can be used in a bluesy way also. You can use it as the pretty, or you can use it as a blues scale too. Here's how to do it. It's simple. We talked about how to play in the major key to make it sound majory and flowery and pretty, and that is to go to the 6 minor and play it there. If you want to be bluesy, you go to the key that you're in and you play that minor pentatonic scale on that major note. So let's stay with E. We've got that E note here. When I play that E minor pentatonic scale over you could say a key of E major key, it's going to sound bluesy. Here's that E chord. Now that same scale that was really pretty is now gritty. Cool, huh? So now you have 2 different ways. I'll say this. You have to decide what the vibe and the feel of the song is. If it's gritty and bluesy or, rocky, or you just want to give some punch, you can play that minor pentatonic scale over that major key and get there. You have to decide which road the song is in. Most songs don't go both ways. Most songs are either pretty and nice, or gritty and bluesy, as far as how the notes relate to each other. So that's a cool concept. So let's review. Let's start with A and just go through those 5 keys. Key of A. Gotta know where an A note is. If you want to be pretty and nice, go back 3 frets and you'll find your 6 minor note, which is F sharp, and play your minor pentatonic scale from the 6th minor of A major, which is F sharp minor. Whew, that's a lot of stuff. Let's go to C. Find a C note. C note. 8th fret. 3, 5, 7, or G, A, B, C. Go back 3 frets from there and you find your 6th minor. Now I'm in the key of C because I'm playing the A minor pentatonic scale with the C major key. Okay? It's an A minor pentatonic scale, but A minor and C major are twins. They overlap each other like this. Let's go to D. Find a D note. Use this opportunity to memorize where this D note is. It's on the 10th fret. 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a D note. Alright, if I want it to be flowery and majory, then I'd go back to the B minor, which is B minor is D's favorite minor. If I wanted to be bluesy, go ahead and play that minor scale over that major key. Now, same notes, same scale, it's now gritty. Alright, key of D, key of E. Where's the E note? 12th fret. I'm going to go 3 frets down to my C sharp minor. Let's memorize these relationship chords, the relative minor with their favorite relative major. So E's, is the key of E's majors is C sharp minor. I'm in the key of E now because I'm playing C sharp minor pentatonic scale over the key of E. If I want to be gritty, I'm going to go up to that E. Alright? Key of G. Key of G is the most common key. What is the key of G's favorite minor? E minor. E minor. Think about it. Anytime you've played a G chord, you probably also played an E minor chord with that song. So there's two places to play the E minor pentatonic scale. You can play it open. Now this is really cool position because if you're already strummy down here, those notes are here. So that's a fancy way of showing you chords and rhythm with the scale. The scale, and you see it with your mind's eye, hopefully. You can pull those notes into your playing when you're in the open position. Because half the notes are already being held down for you from that scale. We've got 0, 3, remember? 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 3. Key of G major, also key of E minor, pentatonic scale. You going with me here? So the other place you can play the E minor pentatonic scale is up here on this 12th fret. When we were in the key of E, we played it at that 12th fret and it sounded bluesy and gritty with the key of E. That same scale that's on the 12th fret, when we played it with the key of E and it sounded gritty and bluesy, now when we're in the key of G, now it's pleasant. Because it's now relating itself with a different key. Our minds see things in groups of keys. They don't overlap. We see things in one key, or we see it in another key, or in our ears kind of rest in those keys. The same scale that made one key bluesy, those same notes in the key of G make it pleasant and nice. Isn't that cool? And if you know how to use it, you can do the same thing. Key of G. Alright, I'm just playing with my E minor pentatonic scale. Taking it to a D chord. I know from my scale I can release this note because that note is in my key, this open G. on a C chord, and I'm just being loose with the chord structure and pulling melodic notes from my scale into the chords. So that's how to use the scale, where to use it, how to find keys. So the takeaway is find on the top string your major key and go back 3 frets, and you'll automatically find that key's favorite minor chord. And you can play the minor pentatonic scale from that minor chord of the major key, and you'll have a nice sound. That's a lot, I know it is, but just take it for what it is. Soak in what you can. Spend time with that. Maybe go to YouTube and type in backing track for the key of fill in the blank. Say D. You're going to see a bunch of really cool just basic tracks. And test yourself. All right, so this is in the key of D. How can I use my minor pentatonic scale in this major key? Right? Find your D note, 10th fret, go 3 frets back. Put on that backing track in the key of D major and play that B minor pentatonic scale and just practice with it. Maybe you're still just going up and down it. That's fine too. So in video 3, we're going to talk about how to sing it. We want to make those notes, the parameter of the extent of from here to there and here, there, back. We want to use those notes to make our guitar sing, right? Just like all the great guitar players. My name is Jacob Paul. I'm really glad you watched that video. Thanks for watching. Check it out on video 3. I'm going to see you there.